Over the past couple of years, many AEG clone companies have been arising, pretty much copying any gun that Tokyo Marui or any other big company has come out with. There's many brands like AGM, Cyma, JG, D-Boys, pretty much whoever you look out, they've come out with a gun someone else has already come out with, but at a cheaper price, given or take some of the qualities that you would have on the higher gun. Today we will be looking at the Cybergun M14 Special Operations, or better known as the Socom Shorter Barrel. Hope you enjoy the video.
This What You're Looking At production is brought to you by Airsoft Station. Dominate the battlefield.
Okay, starting off here in the box, Cybergun is pretty much infamous for putting all their stats in .12s. Well, as we know, with any high-grade AEG or anything using a metal gearbox, .12s will not cut it, and they will eventually break your gun, and usually really quick. As you see here, it starts off by saying 474 FPS on the box. Of course, don't listen to that. That's their reading with a .12. And of course, they got 474 again. They even say it's with a .12. And then they got the range and all that. Don't look at these and don't believe any of these except for probably the weight and the length of the gun. To find FPS and power range, you test it yourself, and that's probably the best way you'll be able to find out how far and how hard your gun shoots. Besides the box being pretty standard here, it's just your standard, cardboard top, and then you got the plastic wrap. Of course, Cybergun, you're going to get your whole Cybergun accessory sheet, other things you could possibly buy for the gun. A whole bunch of other stuff on the back, nothing really important for the gun. And then you got your operation sheet, or pretty much your shortened manual for your M14. As you see here, shows you how to load the mag and all that stuff. But don't worry about this, I'll be showing you how to do that in the video. Okay, being that Cybergun is an AEG clone company, even though they do license some of their products, of course, as all clone companies, they're going to include everything you need to be able to shoot the gun right out the box. As in, your battery with here, you're going to have your standard 8.4 1100 milliamp battery. Very cheap sling. I haven't even opened it yet, so I'm not sure if it comes with the buckles to attach to or not. Your standard 250 milliamp an hour charger, trickle charger. Of course, I would just suggest to go ahead and buy the smart charger if you plan to put a bigger battery in here, which is going to be kind of hard to do, which I'll explain in a second. Then you got your high cap mag right here, and then you got your winding wheel to adjust it right there. Okay, now here's the gun itself. Pretty good packaging. One more thing before I go into it. Unjamming rod is right under that. As you know, any gun is going to come with an unjamming rod, pretty much standard. Okay, moving on to the gun itself here. As I said, Cybergun. This is available for $199 at airsoftstation.com. I've already shot it a couple times. Really good deal. And as you see, it's got that nice M14 bolt, so it's always nice for gameplay. I'm going to start off here with all the metal parts. Starting off here with the front, your whole front barrel assembly, your outer barrel, the barrel under that, your front triangle sight, well, it ain't triangle, just your front sight, and your flash hider is all metal, but of course this orange tip is plastic, and it looks like it would be very easily to remove, but I'm not going to take it off because I'm not keeping this gun. Moving on, which is a really nice feature, which is not seen on too many M14s, is you got this nice rail system right here. If you move the scope rings, you should be able to fit just a standard sniper scope up there pretty fine. But I've found that just putting a red dot there works well. Since this is a shorter barrel, you are going to get good range still, but probably not as much as you would with your standard M14. Moving on to the receiver of the gun here. This whole receiver assembly, as you can see the difference from the body. This whole receiver assembly is metal. Your rear iron sights, your mounts. Turning the gun around, as I said before, your bolt is metal, fire selector switch is metal, and this is pretty unique. I've really never had an M14 before, so I already know how to do it though. This is the selector switch, because M14s have special gearboxes, so this is where the selector switch would be, like on the real gun, but instead of actually having indicators, you either have it one way for semi, or one way for auto. And then you got a separate safety switch right here. If it's in, it's like if it's harder to get to the trigger, the safety's on, as you see. And then once you push it out, you can engage the trigger all the way, meaning you can shoot the rifle if a battery's in there. Then you've got your magazine release right here, which is nice, making it ambidextrous. And that's pretty much all the metal parts to the gun. Moving on to the stock and body of this gun, they are both an ABS or nylon fiber component, but they are nicely textured and they feel really good. They're definitely better than like a standard AGM body that you see on an AGM M14. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It makes it feel like a really nice solid gun. Something that I would, even if this was a gun, take it right out the box, I would take it right on the field and feel comfortable using, because it doesn't feel cheap. And hopefully, you know, the accuracy test and all that will reflect how good this gun feels, because you can't judge a book by its cover. Moving on, if I can move it up here, you can see that the main hand grip area where you would grip with your hand, really nice and textured, so maybe you don't have to use the mag as a grip. You can use this instead. Moving on, you can even see the texture right here. Really nice gritty feel. It's not too hard, but it's not smooth, so it's just really nice. Doesn't leave any finger marks. Moving on to your trigger guard. I meant to say that was metal. So yeah, and moving on to the small of the stock or the pistol grip. This is also textured, making that really nice. And then pretty much this whole body is one piece, so it's all the same texture. Really good. And your back lug right here to put your sling on is also metal. That's attached by the screw that holds the back of the stock in. Okay, moving on to battery installation. Even with the small type battery that this gun comes with, it can be very hard if you don't know how to put it in the right way, and then it's hell to take it out the first time. So here we go. This is the shoulder rest piece that comes up. You can use this as just when you're firing for more stability, but that also is there to help, you know, keep the battery in if this door in any way is broke or if you have wires caught. Then you got a small button right here, and as you see, for now, this could possibly fit a large type. I'm not going to completely say yes, because I have a very hard time just putting a small type in here. But basically, the wires come out. As you see, there's a fuse housing and your fuse, and then your small Tamiya connector. If I get a light on this, you can see in here, on both sides, there's like these rubber pads. One here, and one here. If you took those out, you could possibly fit a bigger battery, but I'm not going to try because it's just as hard as it is already to put this 8.4 in here. So basically, what you're going to want to do, it's going to be a two-hand operation. You're going to plug the battery in first. After that, just make sure that they're nicely together, and you're going to put that battery in straight down and push it as far as it can go, because you're going to need room for these wires. You're going to put the connector in first, and then the fuse housing, and then you just got to mess with it, because the wiring, the other wrapping around the other wiring is just really stiff, so there's just a certain way you can put it in. And then after you think you got it, just push the top back down, and then just push the shoulder rest back down. And okay, moving on to working with the magazine here. This is a high cap. It's pretty much full metal. It feels really nice, just like any other M14 high cap you'd get. You got the piece right here that attaches into the mag wheel on the front, which I'll explain on how to putting the magazine into the gun. You got your feeding nozzle right here, and then you got the little piece in the spring that holds back the BBs until you push the trigger to feed them into the hop-up system itself. Trap door right here, pretty easy to open if you have nails. If not, it might take you a couple times. But really good mag, holds about 400 to 500, and that's because how wide the mag is. And then since it is M14, it is going to be shorter than your standard M4 mag. So here we go. Just 4 BBs right into the trap door, and you can close it up. You can either choose to wind it with the winding tool, which is pretty much a fancy handle on an Allen wrench, and you can either do it like that, which I prefer just to wind by hand though, with a wheel on here on the bottom, just like any other mag, and you can just wind that right up. On it about 10 times after you see the BBs come to the top, and you should be ready to shoot. For putting the mag into the gun itself, similar to an AK, you're going to want to push the front end first, and then the back, just like that. So there you go, that's how you put the magazine in. Now be careful, make sure your safety's on, because if your battery's in and your mag's in, it's winded up, you're ready to shoot. Okay, now we're going to do the FPS and rate of fire test with the box saying about 474 on a .12. I'm willing to say take about 90 to 100 off that, and that is going to be your FPS of the .20. So here we go. 372, 374, 367, 375, 369, 374, 368, 375, 372, and 373. So pretty much right there at 370. Perfect FPS for field play, because I know most fields have a limit of 400 to 420, and you're not going to see a range difference from that unless the inner barrel is decently longer. So you're not going to have to worry about this gun being disadvantaged at all in the field. You're going to get really good range if the hop-up system is good in this gun. So now let's move on to the rate of fire, which I've already tested this before this part of the video. So it's really not that high. This is with a fully charged battery that comes with the gun, which is an 8.4 1100 milliamp battery. 9.89. 9.68. 9.84. So as you see, you're probably getting about 550 to 600, and that's stock. If you were to want to put high speed on this, you could, but with the gun having a decent barrel length here, I could just see using this as a semi-auto weapon. You know, put a nice scope up there if you want to, but it's up to you. Either way, really good FPS and a mediocre rate of fire. Overall, Cybergun has come out with a really nice M4 here. As you know, a really nice M4 bolt. Of course, you're always going to have that decent sized tie cap here. Coming with rails, you're already ready to put optics on. You know, you can put your sling up here. It comes with a battery. There's only one really con I'd put to this, which is something seen with most clones, is that the motor is mediocre. If you want to have the higher rate of fire, you can go ahead and drop a different motor in there. But I'd say just stick with the stock, you know, see how it works on the field, because it should work just fine. Okay, this has been a What You Looking At production. Remember, you can get this gun at airsoftStation.com. It is under Airsoft AEGs, because it's an Airsoft AEG. And it's pretty much $200, $199.95. Really good price for what you get. The metal body. You get everything you need to take this gun on out in the field and shoot. Okay, this has been a What You Looking At production. Make sure you subscribe, comment, rate, and request. This is What You're Looking At. I'm out.